願いします。キーパーも大変、楽しく拝見させていただきました。すごく面白かったです。で、まずですね、このキーパーという映画は、まあ、ある意味これは、魔女というテーマを、まあ、また扱っておられると思うんですね。で、以前、グレーテルヘンゼルという映画の時も、魔女のテーマを掘り下げた作品でした。で、まあ、フェブラリーは直接的には魔女を描いたとは言いにくいかもしれないですけど、まあ、悪魔崇拝が出てくると。で、魔女のテーマにこうやって、繰り返し描かれているっていう、まあ、そこに興味を惹かれる理由と、それから、そこで、毎回その継承という、まあ、テーマが、浮上してきていると思います。というのも、グレーテルヘンゼルでもキーパーでも一種のその、魔女の継承のようなことが行われていると。で、まあ、あと、呪われし家に咲く一輪の花という映画でも、まあ、一種の継承のようなことが起きているというふうに見ることができるんですけれども、そのあたりについて教えていただけないでしょうか。
In the case of Keeper, we wanted to foreground an older world in which magic and witchcraft and the supernatural were a little closer to the surface, right? Like as time goes on and as the impact of human beings on the planet starts to get more and more serious and more kind of constricting and claustrophobic, we lose our contact sort of with magic and the other side of the veil, as it were. And so we wanted to situate the sort of the origins of the story in early America, where magic was more available,
うん。
where the spiritual entities were more available, and certainly before settlers came to the Americas, the concept of magic and being connected to the spirit world or to the natural world was much richer with natives. So we wanted to be in that register and play in those notes. And then, the idea was that had happened. Malcolm and his brother had found these sort of witches and had formed this sort of fairy tale relationship with them in the same way that the fisherman, Rossif Sutherland's character Malcolm talks about the story of the fisherman who brings up the magic fish and the fish gives him the wishes, and sort of wanted to lean into that relationship dynamic between mortals and magic, and then see where it was today, see how that had landed and ended up today in a contemporary setting where people go on dates and people go on weekends to the cabin and they have their friends on the phone, and the sort of the trappings of modern life that can't escape the earlier magic that this culture of witches lived alongside contemporary life, and that in this sort of early spiritual mythology, it's much more sophisticated. It's not just good and evil. There's a lot of gray area. So we wanted to have it so that the witches, the monsters, were aware of the pain that they caused, and they were interested in the pain that they caused, and they even admired the women who had come before them, the women that they had eaten. They still respected them and they still grieved for them and wore the expressions of their pain on their faces. So it was just trying to take old world magic and situate it in a contemporary relationship.
えっと、監督はそのご自身の映画で脚本もご自分で書かれることが多くて、脚本っていうのも創作のまあ、だから脚本はですね、創作の中でどのようなプロセスとして捉えられているのか、そして、まあ、今回はその、他人の脚本でお取りになったわけですけれど、その、まあ、メリットとデメリットというか、困ったところがもしあったらっていうことをお伺いしたいんですが。
You know, the way I see my job as a filmmaker is to just be an instrument of the muses, or an instrument of the source, or whatever you want to call the place where all ideas and art comes from. It's like a wellspring in the ground. And the best that I can do is listen for it and try to turn it into something beautiful and interesting that passes through me and is given to an audience or is given to other people that I can share that with. And so when I'm writing something, I'm just listening out for what's in the atmosphere and what wants to be delivered to me, and then find something about it that's true for myself. So I write everything from the inside out. So the writing process is it's where the world is created. It's where the flavor of the project is born. It's really the most important spot for me to be in as the filmmakers. In the writing process, which is lonely and individual. Once I hand the script over, the movie becomes the work of 100, 200 people, and that becomes increasingly true as you go along. By the time you get into post-production, I'm much more dependent on the other artists who I'm collaborating with to inform what the movie is at that point. I've taken my hands off of it a long time ago. The benefit of working with someone else who's writing for you, a screenwriter who isn't me, is that you get to see the thing from a distance. You get to see it clearly once, right? You get to. Stanley Kubrick said that he only adapted his screenplays. He never wrote an original screenplay. All of Stanley Kubrick's screenplays are based on books, and he felt that the benefit of that was that you could read it for the first time, and you could have that sensation of seeing something in its entirety, seeing something as a whole, and then bringing your interpretation to it. And he's right. When you start writing with a blank page, it can be quite overwhelming, the choices you have to make. So having someone make those choices for you so that you can see it as one thought is very useful and was very useful for Keeper.
あるインタビューで監督がおっしゃっているのを、読んで非常に興味深かったことがあるんですけど、見ていてなんていうんですか、辛い気持ちになるホラー作品っていうのはあまりお好きではないということを言われていて、で今回の作品を拝見してもなんとなくおっしゃってることは分かるような気がするんですけれども、見ていて辛いホラーが苦手っていうところについてちょっとお話を伺いたいんですけども。
I guess there's enough real sorrow and pain and discomfort and grief. There's plenty of that to go around in the real world. It's really very challenging for people. It's been challenging for me. And I still think that the arts, at least as far as I'm responsible for them, ought to offer some relief from the difficulty of living, right? Like I don't want to add to anybody's trouble. I don't believe that's my job. My job feels like it's to bring something beautiful to people. And as grisly as some of the movies that I've made have surely been, they've always been made with an affection for humanity. They've always been made with an eye towards, is this beautiful? Is this sad in some way? Is this true in some way? Is this romantic in some way? Is this stylized in some way? And I think it all comes down ultimately to the idea that I'm very, 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 very lucky to get to do what I do. And it feels to me that the only way to honor that good fortune is with good feeling. And so I don't try to create a bad feeling. I try to create something like joy. I just try to turn people on, And I think the reason why, and whatever turn you on means to anybody, if it means excites you or inspires you or just surprises you, I think that's my job. And I think, with the reason why Long Legs was such a big success was it really surprised and turned people on. People really had a great time. Like they really felt good in the theater. They really felt like something was happening, something new was happening, something punk was happening, something expressive was happening, something tricky was happening. And I feel like that, we're just may sound goofy or simple, but I think I'm just supposed to entertain people. I don't think I'm supposed to bum them out.
じゃあ、ちょっと今の話に続けてなんですけど、表現として美しいものを描きたいというのは、監督の映画を拝見していると、非常に絵画的な要素が強いということがあって、で、今回これ2つ質問があるんですけども、例えばキーパーにおいてもですね、今回はこれまで以上に、シュールレアルな怪物の姿を見せるとかって、それも非常にユニークで視覚効果としても優れてたと思うんですけども、以前にも呪われし家に咲く一輪の花でもですね、例えば、フランシス・ベーコンと古典絵画とファッションフォトを融合させたような、ものすごく得意でユニークな、映像表現がありました。で、こういう絵画的な、なんていうの、絵画的でユニークな美しさみたいなものは監督の映画の非常に強い大きな特徴だと思いますが、それについて、語っていただきたいのが一つと、もう一つは、それに伴ってですね、非常に建築とも、毎回映画が関わりがあると。で、今回の、キーパーにおいては、もちろん山小屋、キャビンということになるわけですけども、以前にもグレーテルとヘンゼルの黒い家ですとか、他の作品でもそうですね、モンキーの時もそうですし、毎回建築と深い、非常にユニークな建築を見つけて撮られている、あるいは作られているということがあって、その辺についてどう考えておられるのか、お聞かせ願いたいと思います。
It's maybe not an interesting answer, but I just I just try to put forward what I like. I just try to put forward what pleases my taste. And I know that may sound elusive or vague or weak, but it's like the number of times I'll watch someone's movie and I'll watch what they've done and I'll think to myself, do you like that? Is that what you like? You like how that looks? Is that what you meant for that to be like? And I can't believe that it is. And so most of the time, I'm really just trying to put forward something that I believe is worth having the space that a movie gets, right? Like just wanting to provide some rich art, man. I know it sounds kind of goofy, but I'm lucky now. I get to be an artist who gets to do their thing, and I think I think much more about painters than I think about film directors. I think much more about Robert Motherwell and William de Kooning and other abstract American expressionists. I think about Monet's water lilies more than I think about Italian horror movies. It's like, what's your kink, right? It's like, what turns you on? It's like, what do you like in a mate? It's like, what do you think is sexy in a girl or sexy in a man? It's everybody's own thing. And some of us, in this case, me, we get lucky enough that we situate ourselves in our lives, that we get to be amplifiers. We get to be microphones or megaphones for the things that we love. And making movies is the ultimate gift of expression in that way, because you're able to use every art form is on your side, right? Every art form is in your toolbox. And so the burden is on me, man. The burden is on me to collect good stuff, right? The burden is on me to collect good things in my atmosphere and to surround myself with stuff that I like. Like I'm in my office right now, I'm looking around like it's all the stuff that I want to see. It's like that like Bob Dylan is the greatest artist of all time in any field for me. And so I keep Bob close to me. You know what I mean? Like it's just, you just surround yourself with your gods. You surround yourself with your muses and you hope for the best, man. Fuck. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes it works. Most of the time it doesn't. Do you know what I mean? And then you get lucky and you work hard, and every once in a while you get the right opportunity and it fits. It's not really answering your question, except for me to say that I consider myself to be super lucky to be able to do the job I get to do, which is just curating good stuff. We're just trying to make things that are cool. Do you know what I mean? Like it sounds goofy, it sounds really nerdy.
わかり
Trying
ま
to
す。
make things that are cool. We're just trying to bring something cool to the world. You know, we're lucky to be able to try.
ちょっと一個だけそこで、ちょっとすいません。それも、非常によくわかる話です。大変興味深いんですけども、あの例えば予算とか時間とのリミット、制約との戦いだと思うんです、映画作りは。その中で、その自分の、キンクに基づいた、好きなビジョンを実現するためにどういう工夫をされてるか、ちょっと伺いたいです。
I try not to take I try not to take anything too seriously, right? I try not to take anybody too seriously. I try not to let things get to me. Limitations are the best, are the friend of the artist, right? If someone says you can do whatever you want,
うん。
it's a nightmare. It's a fucking nightmare. There's no way to think that way. But when they start to say to you, you can have this much and you can do this like this, then you start to really fill the space, right? You start to really you sit up straight and you're like, okay, I'm ready to go. It's the same thing that happens when you have children, right? When you have children, you lose the sense of I can't do that. That's not, you have to do. You have to wake up, you have to do the thing, you have to earn the thing, you have to feed, you have to. It's mandatory. And so, you know, with making, I don't even remember what the question was, but it's like, what was the question? Yeah, I try to, it's like keeping yourself in shape or keeping your body in good shape. It's like you put in the good stuff, right? I have no social media. I don't watch CNN. I don't listen to American politics. I don't watch television. I don't look at series episodic. I watch old Bergman movies. I read a lot of novels. I read a lot of comic books. I listen to my kids a lot. You know, I listen to music a lot. I just try to put, I don't put any garbage in. You know, you hear some people like, oh, I watch bad movies so I can learn how to not make a bad movie. Oh man, don't waste your time. Don't look at bad art. Bad art will kill you. Look at good things. Look at a John Cassavetes. I'll watch a John Cassavetes movie 10 times in a row. I'll watch it 10 times in a row before I see something else. I don't know. I dig into the things that I really love and I respect, and I watch them over and over again, and I obsess about stuff, and I try to keep the garbage out. It's the best I can do.
すみません。その建築についてちょっともうちょっとちゃんと聞きたかったんですが、そこはどうでしょう。結構その建築っていうのは、あなたの映画の中で、独特のというか、不安感を醸し出すような雰囲気を作り出すのに大変重要な意味を持っていると思うんで、そこをもうちょっとお伺いしてもいいですか。
In Gretel and Hansel, there were certain things I knew about the storytelling. Like I knew there were certain moments in the movie where the audience would pay attention to how we did something. And one of those things was the house, right? Like I said, it can't be a fucking house made out of candy. It's just not going to be a candy house. Like I'm not going to look at it. I don't want to see that. I don't want to see a house made out of candy. I don't want to see that. I want to see something totally brutal and minimalist and like a spaceship landed in this world. I want the signature of this movie to be my own. I don't want it to feel like anything that's come before it. Everybody knows the story of Hansel and Gretel. So where are we going to find our opportunities to be unique and distinct and original and crazy, right? Where can we be crazy? Where can we go a little bit crazy? And my production designer and I, we just had the right language with each other. I'm the pretty thing that lives in the house. The same thing. We built that whole house. That house was in a warehouse in northern Canada. And we built it from the ground up, and it was just based on the house that I grew up in Cape Cod, Massachusetts, in the eastern part of the United States. It was just embedded in my memory. Everything is just trying to make it feel right. You know, it's like it's poking around and trying to make something feel right. And by the way, I would say probably half of the stuff that ends up in my movie doesn't necessarily feel totally right to me. Half of it feels really good. Half of it's like, that really is exactly right. Nicolas Cage in Longlegs is exactly correct. There's nothing wrong with that. But there's aspects of that movie where I'm like, we missed it. There's aspects of Gretel and Hansel where I'm like, I missed it. But you try you just try to make something good. You just try to make something cool. You just try to make something that will make someone feel something they weren't expecting. The best responses I got from the movie The Monkey, were people who had just lost a loved one. They had just come from a funeral. They buried their mother, and then they'd gone to the movies. And they buried their mother on a Monday, and on Tuesday they were sitting in the Monkey and they were laughing their asses off. And for me, that was the best thing I could possibly have ever heard. It meant that my crazy version of things connected. I just tried to make something that was honest and funny. And when you get the good feedback, it feels really good. Architecture is, it's an opportunity, right? It's an opportunity to have a beautiful character in your movie. And when in Keeper, we just knocked on doors. We just went around and we saw houses that we liked from the outside. And we knocked on the doors, and this one old couple said, "Yeah, sure, why not?" And then it was the house. Making movies is a crazy business.
ありがとうございます。
はい。We are running out of time, so just
Oh.
one quick thing.
Sure.
What comic book did you read recently? What would you recommend?
I read a lot of old things, but recently, Daniel Close, this guy, Patience, what an incredible comic book. Patience is a great thing. Here. This guy. This shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is amazing. This is amazing. This is Charles Burns. This is amazing. But I also read this. Like, this kind of shit. Man, that's magic. That's magic. I got shit all over the place. I just try to keep myself surrounded by good stuff. Oh man. Oh man.
Wow.
Oh, beautiful. That's me, man. I'm just like, that's what I like. But I read everything.
Wow, great. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you guys.
Thank you.